I started off in economic development by influencing a downtown revitalization program in my hometown to add some color, new sidewalks, and old world streetlights that really improved the downtown area. This was needed because many of the buildings were in really bad shape, and even pigeons were flying out of upper floors. Cracked windows, etc., was creating just a mess and an eyesore for the community. While in my hometown dealing with political issues, mainly economic development, I worked with the governor of Kentucky, then Governor Wilkerson, to influence a bridge and bypass going across the Kentucky River. Along both sides of the new bypass in Estill County, or Irvin, I had partners that would have assisted me in developing the property. Now, the property just to the left off of the Winchester Road, Highway 89, and the new 499 bypass, I made offers on that property which the landowners were unreasonable, and there's no way that those kind of prices would have been logical to build any kind of shopping plazas, grocery stores, etc., as well as housing behind that. On the right-hand side, I met with the Calamese owners. There was 5 of them, and we just couldn't come to any agreement. I had shopping center developers willing to invest over $50 million to build a new strip center, shopping center, cafes, outdoor active spaces, make it really beautiful along the new bypass in Irvin. And ultimately, I think it would have expanded out to, $150 million worth of new development, plus housing, multi-family, etc. in that area. Unfortunately, no development other than a small housing community that I built has been developed there. Near the bypass, I focused on influencing an industrial park, which basically saved a company, Carhart's, from leaving the area and moving to Madisonville, which saved about 350 or more jobs. In fact, I even tried to buy the property at the coal wash. I opened the bid at $250,000. I had partners out of Richmond and Lexington that was going to assist me in financing and help me to develop the property into an industrial park. Also tried to influence industrial development along the abandoned railway between Irvin and Ravenna, Kentucky, which has the possibility of many sites, as you can see, south of Highway 52 or River Drive. In Madison County, Kentucky, I attended physical court meetings under Judge Botner and tried to influence the bypass around Richmond that created tens of billions of dollars worth of development. Also in Madison County, I worked with a developer off Tates Creek Road to help him develop 90 homes. Beautiful little subdivision, and I gained a lot of development experience. Here's just a glimpse of that housing community on 1-acre lots. I participated in other projects with the developer. Here you can see 2 large buildings with commercial spaces, a restaurant to the right, which I had a lot of fun building that, 2 duplex office buildings in behind that, and then 4 fourplexes behind those. Overall, it was a really nice project. I put the numbers together as I was driving or riding to Florida in the passenger seat with my laptop plugged into the cigarette lighter, and then emailed the financial analysis to the banker in Kentucky. I returned to my hometown to do a small project with a gentleman that owned some land near the bypass that I had influenced. And I helped him finance, organize the engineers, road builders, and the builders for Ruby Lane. And then I returned to university to focus on a real estate degree, and then ultimately my master's work at University of Kentucky. I had been a real estate agent since 1990, and then I became a broker in 99. Another broker contacted me on a piece of land near the EKU bypass and I-75. The land was valued at $1.2 million, owned by Rosen and Brumbach. I discussed with them that that land could be worth multiple times that if it was site balanced, basically blasted, leveled, and so forth, and one or two large commercial spaces such as Myers could purchase the land that they needed, and it would pay for the site balancing. Ultimately, it became about a $250 million shopping center. Now, I was sick a little bit at the time, and I moved to Florida, waiting for the project to get to a certain point to return and do some developing, building. As mentioned, I moved to Florida in 2003, and I obtained a real estate broker's license in Florida as well. And I started working selling resort property for a multi-billion-dollar group, the Seagulls. CFI is their group. Anyway, Seagulls one of the largest independent resort developer in the world, and I really enjoyed and I learned a lot working with those people and getting to know them. A manager I knew at the other resort transferred over to Wyndham. This was an absolute amazing property. So I went to work with him for a couple years. I was working basically half a day, and I was feeling a little bit sick, not fully diagnosed with cancer yet, but it was definitely creating a problem for me. As you can see here, this was basically my office every day. I would walk out, have coffee, donuts, snack by the pool, overlook the lake, the palm trees, etc., meet with clients and sell property. And I did very, very well. I was in the top 3% of the sales agents in the world. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with cancer and had a tumor the size of a grapefruit and had to remove it and my left kidney. So I basically quit working in Florida. My wife and I and my son moved to Ukraine for a short time. I was jet setting back and forth from America to Ukraine, and I started getting to know people in the area in various metro stops, and I met a lady and I did some consulting on a high-rise project she was doing. My advice and consulting with this lady resulted in revitalization of a tower project that was in financial difficulty and the addition of a smart plaza shopping center on that busy metro stop. All right, here's another project, 15,000 square meters, basically the size of the smart plaza that I just showed you. I found a tract of land near another metro, and encouraged one of the top banks in Ukraine to do a project there. After they showed me dozens and dozens of really bad projects. I actually got to the point of telling them, look, I'll come back 5 years from now and you still will not have done any of these projects because no investor in their right mind will ever do them. And in fact, I came back 5 years later to that bank, found those projects, and they agreed that no one had done them like I had told them they wouldn't. But anyway, they started this project. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to a thing I was telling them on how to structure the deal, pre-sale, bring in partners, various groups like that to focus on this piece by piece to reduce costs, maintain the budget, and complete it on time. Instead, they threw a bunch of money, actually more money than they should have ever thrown at it, like maybe 3 times more, and halted the construction instead of using, sound economic and finance principles, maintaining that budget and completing phases of it on time, which is unfortunate because it was an absolute beautiful piece of property for mixed use development. And, it's just some of the things that I dealt with in Ukraine. I was had multiple surgeries. I was weak. I couldn't get out there and manage projects. But I tried to advise and use my spare time or my unhealthy time wisely to try to influence some projects and keep myself useful. Unfortunately, this is one project that wasn't completed, and it was unfortunate. So, as you can see, this is basically a quick glimpse of my real estate experience. And of course, I have a Bachelor's of Business Administration degree specializing in real estate and finance, and partial master's work in business, along with, lots of experience. So, thank you very much, and I look forward to assisting if I can.